pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to be chair tonight because Val is not in town. And our first order of business, as usual, is to approve the minutes of prior meetings. And we'll begin with the non-public work session of May 27th, 2014. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
So it's moved by Armand and seconded by Neil. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, the regular meeting minutes of May 27th, 2014. We have a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
It's up to you, Neil. All right, we have a motion again by Armand to approve the May 27th meeting minutes, seconded by Neil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thirdly, we have the non-public work session of June 2nd, 2014. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Again, moved by Armand and seconded by Neil. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then finally, we have the minutes of a meeting which was really an informational meeting with Plymouth State University regarding the All Well Center held on June 2nd, 2014. This was a joint meeting of the Select Board and the Planning Board. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
And seconded.
And this time we have Neil moving and Armand seconding. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's all the minutes we have to approve. The announcements are that the Select Board will meet on the following dates. The regular meetings at 6 p.m. on Monday, June 23rd and July 14th, 2014. Work review sessions prior to the regular meetings start at 5 o'clock. Tentative work session on June 30th at 5 o'clock if needed. All of the above meetings are held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Weather observations for May are available in the town hall. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the town hall before noon, the Friday before the scheduled meeting. And that's it up until new purchase orders. Our first is from Chief Clogston relative to Lakes Region Dispatch Services. Chief? Good evening. You have a cold.
I have allergies.
Oh.
This is our annual fee for dispatch services at the Lakes Region Fire Mutual Aid. This is our share of it. If we don't pay it, we don't have dispatch services. Along with dispatching, they also provide us with training opportunities. As a collective, the 33 towns purchase certain equipment, like fit testing equipment, that every department gets to use it so that we don't have to pay so much when we hire a vendor to come in and do that service for us. They can also reprogram some of the radios at a reduced cost. So it's 33 communities coming together that helps one another out. Plus we get, the dispatch services from them. Along with that, part of being a member of the mutual aid system is that any piece of apparatus that I need to help mitigate a situation in town, if they're within that 33 towns, I can call, and if they have staffing, they'll send it at no charge. So if we
Is this the same amount as it was last year?
No, it's increased by about 2%. The old fee, last year's figure, I believe, was here in front of me. It was at 45,674.
And this is for next fiscal year,
This is for this
2015.
one.
All right, so we have a purchase order here for Plymouth's proportionate share of the Lakes Region dispatch services in the amount of $47,957.24. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll move.
And I would second that.
Any further discussion on that motion?
That is for fiscal year 2015.
So that's the period beginning July 1, 14 through the next 12 months, I guess, right?
They're operating on a calendar year. They wait for our payment because we're on a fiscal.
I see. Any further discussion on this item? Anybody?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Thank you
there we
very
go.
much.
Thank you,
Yep.
Chief. Should we, do
Sign that.
you want us to sign that now?
Yes.
There you go. Chief?
How are you?
Good.
Oops, sorry. You ready? I'm gonna wait for Armin.
Yeah. So what lovely things do you have for us? tonight?
I have, first we'll go with the dispatch construction purchase order.
All right.
And what this is, I think I emailed every one of you that we got awarded the Homeland Security grant. So the purchase order is for $93,052, but emergency management is kicking in $46,526, so half of that amount. And I'm also asking the board that I get permission to do just one purchase order for the entire project, so I don't have to come to you 22 times with 22 different purchase orders for all the equipment we need to buy. Attached to this purchase order is a copy of the grant, which I believe everybody, except maybe the section of Armin, has seen. And also all the vendors that are going to be doing the work in the dispatch center are also attached to this purchase order. I don't know if you guys got copies of that, but I have the original
no.
here if you need to look at it.
I don't think so. So, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So you're asking to be approved for the whole 93,000 so that you can do the whole job without coming back? That's what you
Correct.
said?
Yes, I am.
And, is the scope of work well-defined and the vendors already chosen?
It absolutely is, yep. And even some of the work, you'll see some of the vendors, and they have already been done. In the grant, that's factored in as our half of the grant contribution, so that's been accounted for, and those are in there as well.
Okay.
I have a question. The grant portion,
Yes.
is that also going to be supplied all at one time, much as the purchase order will be?
No, as the work goes, I can ask for money, reimbursement money from them as we go. That's how I wrote it in the grant. There are several different choices how you want to get reimbursed in the grant, and I chose as the work goes, I can ask for checks as we go.
Where do those checks come from?
They come from the state, basically Steve Temperino's office. That's where they come from.
Yes, Paul?
And just for a point of fact, this was approved in October. That's when we had the special meeting,
Mm-hmm.
when the fire department purchased the house.
And that's where the money is coming from that.
I'll take a look at that.
It's
just-
too much to...
Yeah.
Go take a look. Do I have a motion on the chief's request?
I just have a question, maybe before we do that.
Yeah.
Once this purchase order is approved, what is the timeliness or time frame do you anticipate to sort of get this completed along with the grant money, reimbursement and such?
If I had it my way, we would be done with it by the end of August, beginning of September
Of this year?
of this year. However, it all depends on timing and vendors. What my plan to do is, if you guys decide to approve this, I was going to contact the vendor for the dispatch consoles. That's the biggest portion, because we have a 4 to 6 week lead time on once you order it to get that equipment in and to get it installed. So that was going to be my first step. My second step was to get all the vendors together in one room, which we've already done, and say who goes first, so we don't have people stepping on each other, so it goes smoothly. So that was my plan, to do that. And hopefully by doing that, I can get it done a little quicker and managing it a little bit better.
Are you the general contractor in this thing?
Myself and the deputy chief would absolutely be the general contractors. Yeah, we'll be managing everything ourselves.
And if approved as is, would this project potentially be completed before the upcoming PSU school year?
That is my goal. That's why I said the end of August, beginning of September.
Okay.
Because it's, obviously, you know, it starts to get busy again, so, because there will be some disruption in the dispatch center, and we're exploring two different things. Either we are going to ask the Grafton County Sheriff's Department to borrow their dispatch trailer, and we'll park out in back of the PD and dispatch out of that. And or our training room is also set up as an emergency management center, so all the phone lines, all the radio lines and everything are into that. And we may just move the dispatch center temporarily into the training room and dispatch out of that.
I'm sorry, this is if you don't have it done by the 1st of September?
No, this is while
While
it's
this is
actually
going
going
on,
on.
yeah.
During construction?
During construction, yes.
And would you say this time of year is probably the best time in terms of your busyness to get something like this accomplished, or?
Yes, I wouldn't, well, I mean, we're still busy, don't
Right.
get me wrong, but it is the best time of the year to actually do this project.
I have nothing else.
Any other questions, Neil?
No.
Do you, anybody want to make a motion?
I would certainly make a motion to approve the purchase order as submitted by Chief Lefebvre.
Second.
And do we need to say anything specifically about giving him the authority to essentially do this, the entire thing without, no, okay, so, I have a motion to approve the purchase order by Armin, seconded by Neil. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And this is the original, so you want this
Correct.
signed?
Yes, please.
Don't forget, you need to say aye as well.
I did. I said aye, didn't I? I heard it.
Okay.
The last two you didn't, so.
Didn't I? Oh, okay.
And the permission was given in October, right?
Right.
Gotta give it to Armin.
Can I
Oh, I'm
sign
sorry,
that,
I'm
please? Thank you. Needs his signature as well, I think.
I
No?
don't think it matters now
Okay.
that you guys have signed it.
Okay.
And you have it.
Yes.
All right.
The next two purchase orders are kind of go hand in hand. And what they are for is new cruiser equipment and conversion equipment, both. And what that is and what that means is the new cruisers that we are ordering, asking to put brand new equipment in those cruisers. All the equipment we have in the current cruisers now are 12 years old or older. It's obsolete, so we need to replace it with brand new equipment in all the cars. I would like very much so to have brand new cars and brand new equipment in it. And in doing that, too, we also have to purchase some of the equipment because the marked cars we have now are going to become unmarked cars afterwards. In other words, I am going to get one of those, the deputy chief is going to get one of those, and one of them is going to be converted to the new K9 car. Because those vehicles are all getting old and need to be moved out of our fleet. So that's what these two purchases, and I'm asking the board permission. These purchase orders are for fiscal year 14-15, so after July 1st. And the reason I'm asking you to sign these now is, again, there's lead time on this equipment. It's 4 to 6 weeks. They're thinking the new cruisers are going to come in sometime mid-July. So we're at that point now where we can get the new equipment and the cruisers at the same time if we do this now.
So, this equipment is for how many cars? Is it?
Technically, you would be looking at 6 cars total.
Okay, it's the 3 new ones plus the 3 old ones?
Correct.
Okay. And this, 12,000, whatever it is, should cover the equipment for all of them? Is that what
Yes.
we're saying?
There is some equipment that we financed through Ford because you can get stuff straight from the Ford factory when we ordered some of the new cars as well.
So
So
some of
that's
it's
part of it too.
Gonna be factory installed essentially?
Correct. Yep.
And you've got, I see, at least on this one, I see you've got, a quantity and a price for each of a number of different items which add up to the amount requested on the purchase order.
Correct.
And we've got the same thing here. What is a Setna TK023 and so on?
The Setna T320, I believe that is the cage. That, because we're ordering SUVs now, so they actually have 2 cages in it. The cages that we have in the cruisers now can come out of the sedans and be put into the SUVs with just separate mounting brackets. You just need new mounting brackets. So that's fine, we can use that. But it needs an additional cage because there's the back of the SUV, and prisoners should not be allowed back there.
Right.
So that is what that equipment's for.
Gotcha. And I don't, oh, I see, this is the total, this 4793 is the total of 38.
These 2, yeah. What we did is, for some reason, they broke it up into 2 purchase orders. I don't know why they did it that way. I think it's because we asked them at two different times for 2 different quotes, so.
Does anybody have any questions about these things?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No,
Motion?
I move that we approve these purchase orders.
So we're talking about the 2 purchase orders.
Number 7831 and 7832.
Okay, so we have a motion by Neil to approve purchase orders number 7831 and 7832 in the amount of $4793.92 for the first one and $7608.70 for the second one, both for equipment for the old cruisers and the new cruisers. Do I have a second?
And I would second that motion.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
All right. Oh, I see. I have both. All right.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
Always a
see you as
pleasure.
well. Thank you.
All right, and then the next item on our agenda is carryover request that I think Mr. Freitas is going to address for us.
This would be for Highway Department mitigation on Bell Road. And Ann and I are working on, I think we'll succeed at getting $110,000 plus to do the repair work out on Bell Road. It's continually washing out,
Yeah.
getting washboards. The trenches are pulling and caving.
The purpose of this is to put this $25,000 that we've already raised and appropriated for this purpose
Right.
into the next
To carry,
fiscal year.
right. It hasn't been approved, so I'm carrying it over to the next fiscal year.
Okay. And what did you say about the 100?
We should get about 110, a little bit over $110,000.
Would that make it unnecessary for us to
Oh,
expend this
no.
money? No.
That's
That'd be-
our match. Whether I can do it in-kind services, we still have to show it in the budget.
So this 25,000 would be our match
That's
for
our
a
match.
$100 and some odd $1,000
So-
job.
It could go $135,000.
And I'm sorry, did you
Or we
tell
could
me?
use in-kind services, but I don't know if there is any in-kind services that we can, especially with the crew being a short,
Yeah.
now that we,
Hmm.
With
know
the,
we might be able to do some prep work.
so I'm sorry, did you say this $25,000 was raised or was not?
Right, we had the $25,000 in this budget,
Right.
and we were hoping that this grant would have gotten approved earlier.
And it has not.
But it is
It
not.
hasn't. So we're
But
still
it's
waiting
looking
on the
good, but we're
grant.
still waiting on it.
So we just want to push this 25,000 in the
Next
next year.
fiscal year.
Okay.
I'm trying to
That
keep
makes sense.
the money that's coming in the same fiscal year that we do the project.
Yeah. That would be nice.
I have a question.
Yes.
This $25,606.25 would just be sitting there until approval for the grant money, is that accurate?
Yeah, it can't get used unless we get the grant.
Correct, okay, that's all.
And did you want us to deal with that first and then do these others, or do you want to address the others at the same time?
So why don't we do that one first? Yeah, so that's a FEMA grant,
Okay.
and then if we have to send minutes, we can, short
So
address
we
that.
have here a carryover request for $25,606.25 into the next fiscal year for Bell Road improvements, which is anticipated or expected to be our share of the improvement expense when we get a FEMA grant. Do we have a motion to accept that, this carryover request?
So moved, yes.
And do we have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion by Armin, seconded by Neil, to approve this request. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next one, the Foster Street, we still have another $45,000 in that same line. I'd like to carry over, because we have a chance of getting that bid awarded in the new fiscal year. And that's the realignment of the intersection at Foster Street. We have a safety issue with the trucks, tractor-trailer
Right.
trucks can't turn into that area. They used to go down to the McDonald's, turn around at McDonald's and come back the other way.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because they can't, going this way, it's
Yeah.
45 degree.
So this is the exit from the Common Man Inn
Right,
that's poorly aligned.
right, in alignment with the 26 off ramp.
And this again is anticipated to be our share of an expense of
Matching money
perhaps
or
twice that.
in-kind services again.
And what is the amount of the match?
Don't know
I
yet.
see, you don't know yet, okay. I know what our
That's why I'm
portion
putting
would
in
be.
45, right.
All right, so unless there's any other discussion, do we have a
Do you
motion?
anticipate that might be approved soon?
Yes, Sharon was able to get us, we were at 200 and something in the queue, and we've been moved up to number 8, I believe. So,
This is with DOT we're talking about.
Yep.
So if they get 7 other things done
But
next
the
year.
problem that
maybe-
we've been dealing with Highway 2 and the plowing of that area, and it's probably been dealing with it for quite a while, so if we can get this done, that'll be a good project also.
Any other questions? You have a motion on this,
I'll move we approve this carryover expense.
And I second that motion.
all right, so we've got a motion and a second to approve a carryover expense for $45,000 for improvements to the Foster Street intersection. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm just gonna make one note, you see a contractor's name on there that we won't mention on television. We have to list a contractor for our auditor whenever we carry something over, but it still goes out for bid.
Okay.
Just because that contractor's name's on there, we go with the last contractor that received the last bid, that won the last bid,
That's subject to change, though.
subject to change.
Okay.
Whoever would win the new bid. It's just protocol.
There's one more. HVAC?
HVAC, yeah. Yeah. That's why we have the fans and heat on at the same time right now. We have $5,000 that we haven't expended in repairing the HVAC that I'd like to carry over I can already tell you that it just happened today, we found another break up in the tower.
In the attic?
So does that say up to $5,000? Because it won't be.
It does not.
It just says
And when you do
5,000.
see a purchase order anyway, it's up to that amount. I can tell you after this week, we won't have $5,000. But whatever's left over will get carried over.
Okay.
So it will be lower than that.
So what you're saying is some portion of this is likely to be
Probably gonna be
expended
more like
before
three-
the next fiscal
Before
year.
next- Probably gonna be more like $3,000.
To be carried over.
So I think what we want is a motion to carry over the balance of whatever's left of the $5,000 at the end of this fiscal year
That's
into the
it.
next fiscal year for repairs and maintenance to the HVAC system in the town hall, which we all know needs it pretty badly. Is there a motion on that?
I'll move that motion.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye. All right, moving on, the next item I've got here is our any committee reports.
I do not have anything to report this week.
Let's see, planning board.
You-
Planning board met Thursday. It was a work session, and we discussed we just discussed some changes in our wording of some of our planning ordinances.
Possible revisions to the ordinance, I mean,
Yeah,
is that it?
yeah.
I mean, the bylaws.
Bylaws,
Bylaws.
yeah. Yeah, who could sit on the board and when they could vote. And it was really minor changes. We're
Right.
trying to get the wording so that it was in compliance with state
State statute.
statutes.
Situation that we've come across over the years, in the bylaws, is on the flexibility. It says they will meet
Oh,
on a Thursday. It doesn't say they
May.
can, they may. It says they will. And we've had, well, we'll start with Thanksgiving, and then we've had Christmas. Well, and we've had years, because Christmas and New Year's fall on a Thursdays consecutive. So there's no wiggle room for them to say unless the board
Mhm.
votes to pick another date. They don't have that written into their bylaws. So it's,
That's probably a good point. We've had some controversy about when
Right.
precisely the
created
meetings are
a
scheduled.
situation where people didn't know why we didn't meet, and sometimes we caught a month, particularly this past year, that we almost couldn't fit it in because of the way the holidays fell.
Mhm.
So, but according to the bylaws, not the state statutes, bylaws,
Mhm.
them not meeting didn't align with the other part of the bylaws that say they will meet for a work session the first Thursday of each month and a regular
Mhm.
meeting on the third Thursday of each month. And then last year we had both Thursdays hit a holiday in the same month, so.
Yeah, you need some flexibility.
4th of
to
July.
get around. And I guess it's of some note that we had what I mentioned before, this joint meeting between the planning board and the select board to see the proposed, what do they call it, the Be Well Center? Or
The
As
all,
well.
all well,
The All Well Center at PSU, which is gonna be the first phase of which is gonna be located
no, second.
to the second phase?
First phase was the Welcome Center in the
Oh,
ice
all right.
arena.
Okay,
Phase
so-
2 is the Allwell Center.
Which is gonna be on the, I guess it's the west side and in the back of the, or to the rear and the
The
west of the
Where the tennis
existing
courts were.
facility. And I believe that was taped, and I think it's probably being broadcast. If anybody
Yes.
wants to see what the presentation was concerning that, the plans for that, it's interesting and it's worth watching probably. It's gonna be a fairly big building in town, well, in Holderness, really, but. And I should also say that I went to the Plymouth Elementary School Board meeting the other night, and they were discussing primarily teacher appointments, how many teachers they're going to need, and class sizes, and of course we had the report from the principal and the assistant principal about what the kids had been doing, which is always interesting to hear. They've apparently been very busy. But that's all I have. And I don't have anything else on our agenda. Is there anything else needs to come up? Any comment from the public? Anybody have anything to say? Because if not, I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.